body hazmat suit at the moment, breathing like like Darth Vader. So good luck to you, Ellis. And I don't want anybody else to die. I really don't. I cannot control that. I can control what other people do. And I don't want to belabor the point because I feel like I'm going on too long. But I want us all to remember COVID is real. It hasn't gone anywhere. It hasn't gone away. It doesn't care about the election. It doesn't care about who is protesting in the streets. It just cares about moving from host to host. Don't host COVID in your body. Okay, so stay safe. All right. That is my PSA for the day. I'm sure there'll be more because you know how I do later on. But for now, I want to bring in my special guest of the day. So we have, there she is, Dr. Adrian.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. I am doing well. How are you, Joy?
I am doing wonderful. I am so excited to have you in my studio today. And I just want to give everybody a quick rundown of Dr. Adrian. She is a graduate of, I'll let you guess what school she went to. Never mind, Florida A&M University. Once again, I'm surrounded by rattlers, my producers from fam, my co-hosts from fam, so y'all up in this piece. But she got her bachelor's in criminal justice from Florida A&M. She got a master's in mental health counseling from Fort Valley State. She went to Troy State for education in school counseling, and Agassi University, which she got her doctorate in educational leadership. And her dissertation, peep this, for all of my middle children, oldest and youngest out there, her dissertation was the relationship of birth order, marital satisfaction, the family environment, the sibling relationship, and self-actualization on personality development in children. This is why you act the way you act as a middle child, as the oldest. You know, this is how you got to be how you are. So I
That's
urge you
right.
all to Google Dr. Adrian and enlighten yourself. It's going to be great. She also is the author of The Senior Year is Too Late to Prepare for College. This touched me personally because I continue to coach young people. Like, you can't just decide in January of your graduation year what you want to do. You need to have been thinking about that
Right.
honestly in the eighth grade. And I know it seems like an exaggeration, but you've got to plan. You've got to prepare. Parents, you've got to teach your kids to plan. I think about the stuff my mother did for me in the seventh and eighth grade that I didn't agree with, and I was hated her for years for what she made me do and go through. As I got older and I realized exactly what her master plan was, thank you, Mama. So you've got to continue
hmm
to plan. But Dr. Adrian, I just want to give you a chance to continue to introduce yourself. Is there anything that you want to say to the people? Want to anything I missed, so to speak?
Well, the big part of who I am, Joy, I am a psychotherapist here in the Atlanta area in private practice. And, my client base ranges from ages 6 all the way to 89. And, the majority of my practice is made up of couples. And so I've been doing this work of mental health advocacy for about 27 years. And, I always had my private practice on the side. And I was in the school system for over 20 years as an elementary, middle, high school guidance counselor and an assistant principal. So, I wear many hats, but, my largest hat is my mental health advocacy piece. And then who I am as an entrepreneur, been an entrepreneur my entire life. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we wanted to get into today. And I'm so glad that you brought that up. I'm so glad that you mentioned the entrepreneurship and how that may inform everything else that you do is from an entrepreneurial
Yes.
mindset. Thinking as a
Yes.
business owner changes the way you see the world. Yeah, I can attest to that. Having being a
Absolutely.
business owner now, when I worked in corporate America, I feel like I feel like I'm about to start spitting Bible verses. When I worked in corporate America, I thought as a corporate American, I believed as a corporate
Right.
American. But now that I'm done with corporate America, I'm done with the ways of those intending to work for somebody.
Right.
Right. So
Right. Absolutely.
I just want to give you the floor. So what we're going to talk about today is entrepreneurship and specifically
Yes.
supporting Black businesses. It's something we talk about. We
hmm
don't always do it. We are more chatty than actiony. And I want to talk about how we can change that. So rather than get into the fun stuff that I like to get into with Ellis, we're going to break it down today so that it will henceforth and
We're going to break it
forevermore be
down.
broke. Right? Okay. So
Absolutely.
want you to talk to my folks about, well, let's start with you. How did you become a
Okay.
self-made woman? How did you start your entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah. So, Joy, my father has been an entrepreneur my entire life. So he owns an auto body shop. My father's a bail bondsman. He has a record truck service. He has stock in the dog track. So my father was a serial entrepreneur. And so when I was probably about 10 years old, he gave me the soda machine in his body shop down in his office. And so it was my responsibility to make sure that the sodas were purchased for the machine. And so then the proceeds from the soda machine were mine. That was my profit. And so, but I had to make sure that I kept the soda machine stocked. And I think that those are probably my earliest memories of being an entrepreneur. But having been raised by an entrepreneur, and my father's auto body shop is right in the back of our house. So I watched my father kind of coming in and going out very, very early, coming in very, very late. He was never present for dinner with my mother and I because he was out there in the shop working. But I could come home from school and go down there and speak to him, go into the office and kind of help out. And so growing up in Tuskegee, Alabama, I saw Black business owners. That's what I knew. And it wasn't until I left Tuskegee, went to Tallahassee, and, being at an HBCU, you are still sort of surrounded and insulated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But going into the city of Tallahassee, going to the malls or going to the restaurants is when I now recognize that, it's not just Black businesses that we are able to access, which is what I was used to. So I had to be very purposeful about how do I support Black businesses. And so being in Tallahassee, that was not always easy. Well, I left Tallahassee. I actually went to law school in Macon, Georgia, Mercer
Mm.
University. And so as a result of that, Macon, Georgia, the demographics were 50-50 Black and white, but it was an economically white controlled town. So I was very deliberate in how to find Black businesses to support. So everything from my doctors, dentists, lawyers, everything, boutiques, I sought out the opportunity to support Black people. So
Mm-hmm.
I was in Macon for about 16 years, moved to Atlanta, where of course the demographics look a lot different than they do in Macon, Georgia. So I had the opportunity to find Black businesses. And so it was a lot easier to go to Black owned restaurants and to shop in Black boutiques. But I still had a desire to expose Black business owners to the masses because, again, being from Tuskegee, it was easy for me to know that I got to support Black businesses because I'm raised by a Black business owner. I've been in business for 30 years for myself. And then I want to support Black businesses, and I recognize that that's not everybody's norm, even for Black people. Like, that's just not what everybody's doing. And so about 5 years ago, God gave me this concept of Black on the Block, where I literally was going to bring Black owned businesses together and have a block party so that Black people could see where the businesses were,
Mm-hmm.
but so that I could have a conversation with Black business owners to say, we have a responsibility for the goods and services that we provide and to provide good customer service because people don't have to just support you because you're Black.
Right.
And so as a result, life got in the way, and I always wanted to start Black on the Block on Juneteenth. Life got in the way, went through a divorce after 29.5 years. So I didn't do anything with Black on the Block other than to trademark it. And so as a result, fast forward to coronavirus 2020, everything is virtual. And 3 weeks before June 19th, I said, I'm going to have a virtual block party. And so started the Facebook group Black on the Block. Within 24 hours, there were 2,500 people inside of the group.
That's awesome.
And I said, okay, people are ready for this. People want to have access to Black businesses, and people who have Black businesses want an opportunity to showcase their businesses. So I hosted a virtual block party on Juneteenth, 40 businesses, and it lasted 4.5 hours. They had a ball, and I was exhausted. Yeah.
That is amazing because I know I do I do training, I do different things for different companies, and I struggle to get people to pay attention for more than an hour and a half. And so to get folks to stick around for 4 hours for this black business
Mm-hmm.
block party, this bazaar, this a different version of a career fair, if you will, that's amazing.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know? Hmm.
yeah.
And so tell me.
It was Joy, and yeah, and I've gotten feedback that from people that it expanded my business reach because now people who did not realize I was out here can now find me. So
Mhm.
it accomplished the mission. It really did.
So it's interesting because I'm looking at my chat room right now, and I know I've got a couple of black business owners, small time startups, etc. They're in the chat room right now, and I'd like to be able to tell them how to find you. So, like, what
Yeah.
if they wanted to connect with you in that way? What is the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Well, is this where you want me to tell them about what was birthed out of Black on the Block? And I see Erica, I see Shamita Williams inside of, I guess, this chat room or whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess she does not remember me, but have met she and her husband, know Pee Wee well. So hey, Mactown, but have definitely met them on more than one occasion. Recently saw them a couple years ago when my goddaughter was down there doing a music camp and she stayed at their home. So anyway, that's an aside. But do you want me to tell them about TBE and how it was birthed out of Black on the Block, or are we holding that?
Actually, we can go ahead and tell them because we've got your video queued up. So when you finish, we'll run the video.
Okay. So the morning of the block party, I was sitting in my room and just thinking about all these things that I want to do, because I think that when you are an entrepreneur and you work for yourself, you are constantly thinking about what is the next thing,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't have the mindset of a 9 to 5 person. You don't have the mindset of a direct deposit. And so it's always, how do I get the next direct deposit coming in here?
You can
And
never get
so I
comfortable.
was sitting, you can never get comfortable. And so I was sitting in my room and I was thinking about all the different things that I want to do, and, greeting cards and just inspirational gifts and just stuff as a psychotherapist, to put positive messages out there. And literally, God dropped an idea into my lap. And in the midst of a conversation, I said, I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to open up an all black store where every product on every shelf in every aisle is black owned, black produced, and black grown. I said, and I don't mean just black people in the United States. I mean black people all over the world. And I want to take the land that my family owns, and we are going to provide an opportunity for black people to mass produce in a way that we've not ever been able to do because we don't have the infrastructure in place to do it. So, out of Black on the Block, True Black Essentials was birthed. And so, it has been an amazing journey, but this is an opportunity for black people to put their money where their mouth is, and we can stop talking about what economic and generational wealth looks like, and we can start to shop black only so that we all can become wealthy.
Right.
Yeah.
I hear so many people talk about black owned businesses, and generally speaking, people think of restaurants, nail salons,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a barber
Mm-hmm.
shop or a mechanic shop. They don't necessarily think about
Mm-hmm.
the psychotherapy or chiropractic or the dentist, the doctor, your general practitioner. If
Right.
and sometimes people will allow themselves to fall victim to, I go with whatever my insurance is compatible with, but
Right.
there's a black doctor in there
Right.
somewhere, and so it takes a little effort to find him. It's
Yes.
part of being intentional, right?
Yes, Joy, what I tell people is that your insurance company has those demographics because we have to provide that information. So you can call and say, I want you to help me locate a black chiropractor, dentist, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we don't even understand the power that it is that we have to ask questions about anything.
Mm-hmm.
So for so long, we have not asked questions. We kind of just go with whatever it is that people give us. And so what we have to understand is that we have always had a voice. this is the time for us to exercise our voice so that we know what it is to start to use it in a way that people have to now stop and listen to us, because we do have economic power. We just don't utilize it.
That is a great point. I love the way you said that, like, people allow things to happen. For me, I'm
Mm-hmm.
very big on intention. What is your intention and how much energy you're going to
Yes.
put towards
Yes.
it to making sure your intentions are realized. You can say, "Oh, I want to
Mm-hmm.
support black businesses," but then the first time something goes wrong, or the first time you can't find it on MapQuest because it's not listed yet. "Oh, well, I tried." Try harder is always
Yes.
my answer. So at this point, I want to make sure we
Right.
bring up your video so we can show everybody the introduction of TBE.
Okay. Yeah.
True Black Essentials is a retail opportunity to bring black businesses under one roof, where every product on every shelf in every aisle will be black owned and black produced by people all over the world. Statistics show that the $1.3 trillion of spending power that we have as black people can easily be turned into each black person having $2 million if we were to shop black for 2 years. So True Black Essentials will launch an e-commerce store on November 1st, 2020. But we will open up brick and mortar stores in Atlanta, New Orleans, Charlotte, Houston, and Jacksonville, with the very first store opening in Atlanta, June 19, 2021.
That is so beautiful to
Yes.
me.
Yes. Yes.
Outstanding. And the beautiful thing to me is I'm looking at that list. I'm trying to read everything as it scroll by, and I'm like, I don't see her. I don't see him. I don't see them. I know this guy. I know this artist. I know this author. I'm thinking of other people that could or may want to be it. I know people in Charlotte. Matter of fact,
Absolutely.
Sugar Chateau, I see you in my chat room, Charlotte based. I'm expecting you to follow up on this, okay? I've
Mm-hmm.
got people in Atlanta. I lived in Houston, and so that's my audience. Like all the places you named, I'm like, I got people in all the places.
Yes.
And this is how you build
Yes.
a network. This is how, we have everybody's got 2,000 friends on Facebook, and you don't know what 1,900 of them do for a living. You just
Right.
liking
That's
this.
exactly right.
Yeah, we don't take advantage of the power, like you said, the power that we have. We just look at it as having fun. You could turn anything into a revenue stream if you've got the wherewithal and the dedication to make it so.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't always have to be a side hustle. It can be your
Yeah.
life if you want it to be.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And Joy, we have always, as a collective body of people, been craftsmen and artisans. So this is not something new. And so when I tell people, when I tell my clients about the power of manifestation, people who know me intimately know that I have been talking about the Oprah money for 25 years. And so I didn't realize that God was going to give me an assignment that was going to allow the Oprah money to be in many homes. Because one of the things that I've always said is that when I get the Oprah money, everybody attached to me was going to get the Oprah money.
Hmm.
And so what I know is that this was given to me because I'm somebody that's always tried to help and nurture and bring everybody along. Because I feel like if one of us is left behind, we've not arrived. And so we have to all make it our business to make sure that we are helping everybody. And so for me, having a mission to help people in other countries was because my grandfather said that our ancestors came from Africa to Haiti through Louisiana and settled in Tuskegee. I have absolutely no idea whether or not that is the real story or just the story, because
Hmm.
we all got stories.
Yep.
But as a result of him saying that, I've always supported people in Haiti. I send money to Haiti. I've never even been to Haiti. And probably about 2 months ago, one of my high school classmates reached out to me. She posted on my Facebook page and she said, the U.S. Embassy is looking for somebody to do diversity training. And I gave them your name. And I said, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for thinking of me. I really appreciate it. And so a week went by and she kept kind of hitting me up. And so the running joke for my classmates is that we didn't know what she did. We didn't know if she was CIA, FBI, we just didn't know what she was. And so one day I'm in session seeing my clients across the screen, the computer screen, and this 202 number keeps coming in back to back to back to back. And so I thought, I know everybody that I know in the 202 area code. This must be a robocall. So I started just declining the call. And then I saw my classmate's number coming in. And so I excused myself from the session. I answered her call. And she said, the U.S. Embassy of Haiti has been trying to reach you, and they said it keeps going to your voicemail. And so that was just another confirmation for me, Joy, that this is my assignment from God. You know, the resources in terms of the people and the connectedness. I have already partnered, with Black Farmers Association of America. So all of the food inside of True Black Essentials is coming from Black farmers. Everything from the meats to the produce to the fish, everything. Because we have Black people who are out here doing this. We just have not had one place that we could go to where we could get it. And, I've had people to say, well, but everybody's going to online. No, everybody's not going to online because y'all still going up in Walmart and Target.
I was in Kroger this morning.
This is your opportunity. Right. So this is your opportunity to say, you know what? We've done that because we didn't have anything else. Now we've got something else because True Black Essentials is the home for Black people. Other people have this desire to go into these other department stores and super centers, and that's the goal. They come up with a product and they say, oh, if I can just get my product in here, I will have arrived. But what I am saying to Black people is that I'm looking for you. I'm searching for you because you have a home inside of True Black Essentials, because every product on every shelf in every aisle will be Black owned, Black produced, and Black grown. And that's not something that will ever change.
I want to touch on that for a second and I'm going to pick on my friends who shall remain nameless. Two of my sorority sisters, they're twins, and they still have a skincare company. They do some of the best body butter and body oil, hair oil, deep conditioner. The best deep conditioner I've ever had is from Nature by Design is the name of the company. And I remember at one point they were trying to get their products into Publix because they were in Florida at the time. And the barrier to entry was almost more than they could stand. You have to have this much in stock. It's two people in the kitchen putting this together. They could absolutely maintain their product stock for their limited number of people, but to go into Publix, which is regional, 700 stores, you got to have a minimum this, they couldn't keep up. So they could not take advantage of the opportunity because, again, the barrier to entry was more than they could afford. But I'm thinking of, they live in Charlotte, as a matter of fact, and I'm thinking of the fact that I think of the idea, go where you want it. We always talk about, going to a restaurant and the waiter or the waitress doesn't know how to treat you, or they assume you're not going to tip, so you get bad service, or you go to a department store and you get followed around. And we want to go somewhere where we can be comfortable, we can be ourselves. This is exactly what you're talking about. Not only can the customers go where they're wanted, but the businesses can also go where they're wanted. It's an easier point of entry. It's located in highly Black populated cities, so you don't have to worry about trying to satisfy some people way out in Minnetonka. So I love this idea. I am all in on this. I'm excited that I live in Atlanta, because as soon as I'm gonna be at the ribbon cutting, I'm gonna be front and center with all my money.
Front and center. That's right. And you know what, Joy, what's so exciting about this? And I've had people asking me about competition, and I said, let me tell you something. The only reason I am launching e-commerce on this Sunday and is because my mentors, Judge Glenda Hatchett and Dr. Iris Cooper, said to me, who's the founder of Glory Foods, said, you cannot open up brick and mortar during a pandemic. You have to go e-commerce. And so I said, if I have to go e-commerce, I want to own the software. So I made the investment to own my software. I'm not coming off of anybody else's platform. I'm not off Shopify, Etsy, Amazon. I own the software because that is how much I believe in True Black Essentials and this assignment that God has given me. The other piece of that is, you don't have a lot of Black families that can say they own 400 acres of land anywhere. And so what Black people have to do is we have to start coming together and buying land, because we're going to build manufacturing plants and distribution centers, so that we're going to eliminate the excuse for the smaller Black business owners who say, well, I have a great product, but I don't have the ability to mass produce.
Yes.
You will have the ability as a part of True Black Essentials to mass produce. And so I have already had, collaboration with Tuskegee University and Florida A&M University. They are all a part of this. So not only are the HBCUs being invested in making sure that this becomes a reality, I have partnered with a high school in Macon, Georgia. It's a career tech high school where my line sister is the principal. And so we're going to be taking those young people. They're going to be a part of this. So if you want to be a business owner as a young person, then we're going to have an entire young entrepreneurs development program. And so we're going to teach you how to become an entrepreneur. We're going to pair you up with a mentor in the field that you want to be in. So by the time you go to college, you are ahead of the game. Because what True Black Essentials must do, Joy, we've got to prepare the generations coming behind us if we are truly going to create generational wealth. This is not just about what can we do for this generation and giving us some place to go and shop. This is how do we train the generations coming behind us to understand what creating economic wealth is about.
I love what you're saying, because I think about how the entrepreneurial spirit can sometimes be stamped out of us at a young age. I'm going to use myself as an example. At 15 years old, I was the candy lady at school. My mom staked me out with $25. I went to Sam's wholesale. I got some now ladies and some dumb drops and some candy and some more stuff, and was selling it for $10 or a quarter a piece. I was turning $75 a week, and this is in 1989 dollars, right? I'm turning $75 a week. I had my little guest jacket. I had, because you don't save money, spending money on whatever. But I learned how to replenish my stock, set my prices where I could have more money. I learned that at 15 years old. But then as I graduated and as I got into college, the story was go get a job. Go be lawyer, doctor, engineer, one of those things, go make money. And the thought was to have something stable for financial security. But also, you're never going to be free working for someone else. If you can't set your own hours, you're a slave to somebody, whether they're paying you or not, you are still making somebody else a whole lot more money than you're making yourself, and working yourself to death for it, So I think about when you talk about pairing with a high school program, if I had someone to help me understand retail at 15, when I had my own little hustle in high school, how would my journey be different? And I think about the kids that I work with now. They're 20, 22, 25. Some of them are doing Forex. Some of them are doing stock exchange. Some of them are selling Cutco knives, but a couple of them have their own shipping businesses. A couple of them have their own web development businesses. And the story was they've been told, that's crazy. You're never going to succeed. Black people don't do that. All these type of things that are just negative energy that they've been able to repel.
That's right.
But that's for a specific, really, really strong-minded person. There's so many more people out there that with just a little support, just a little push, just a little help could revolutionize their generation as far as being entrepreneurs. And again, having that mindset, because it is contagious. I think about my circle of friends. We all have started businesses now,
Joy, I have 4 children, Morehouse, Spelman, Miles, graduates out of the way. And my daughter has a 2-year-old G baby, and my daughter's husband is a graduate of University of Alabama. And then my baby is at Carnegie Mellon as a junior. And I have always said to my children, no matter who else you go and work for, you must work for yourself. You must have something where you invest in yourself, so that if on any given day somebody walks in and says your services are no longer needed, you can continue to pay your bills and live according to the standard that you have set for yourself. So, we have to teach our kids to find that balance. And so, like you, I was raised, go get a job, go get a degree, and retire from somebody's job. And, I remember having that conversation with my father not too many years ago on a Father's Day, and he was just so offended. He just, well, I guess I'm just the worst father in the world. And I said, I am bringing this up to you to say that I watched you as an entrepreneur hustle and get it and become very successful. My parents are very successful, and they don't have a 4-year college degree, but my parents are very successful. And I said, but you thought that by going and getting a degree, that somehow was going to give me a greater level of success than you had. And so that was my mindset, but I never abandoned how to work for myself and do what I saw you do. And so I definitely think that because of that, I am as successful as I am today. But I'm so excited about True Black Essentials, Joy, because as a little girl, I used to pray and ask God to just use me to change the world. And it sounds funny now when I say it, but I literally would pray, God, just use me to change the world. I was sending money to Africa, all my little money. My father would say, every time a commercial comes on TV, they are getting your money. And you don't even know if those people are over there. I have an adopted child right now in Africa that I send money to every single month. It comes out of my account. And so this is a part of who I've always been. My grandmother was the Girl Scout leader for 54 years in Tuskegee. She was everybody's Girl Scout leader. And so I was just raised to be a healer and to give back to other people. And I've always said to my kids, your life is not about you. If you think that what you go through is for you, you are missing the purpose that God has you on this earth for. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I've just always done is try to figure out, how can I make this world better? It has to be left better than it was before I came here on April 4th, 1967. And so whatever it is that I can do to make sure that that happens is just who I am. And so I know that this is my assignment, and I'm just humbled by the fact that God would even choose me. And I have an advisory board that looks like a who's who of Black executives, which is just another testament to just the greatness that is in so many Black people. And so this is our opportunity to come together, to truly come together. We've talked about coming together. Mm-hmm. We've talked about, we've heard our parents say, oh, they tried this in the 60s. Yeah. Oh, they tried this when they had Black Wall Street. Oh, but we have to be at a point where we stop talking about the negative things that have transpired. And we take this opportunity to say, what can we learn from what was done and do things differently and better so that we are successful, not just a pocket full of people, but as a collective culture of people. And I don't just mean here in the United States, because there are people in countries that we go and vacation in who are struggling economically. So we have an obligation, because a lot of times even when we go and we visit Jamaica and we visit Haiti, we go to these resorts. It's not our people who are benefiting and reaching economic stability by the fact that we're there. Right. So what is it that we can all do differently? And there's a lot of work to be done, but we can do it. We really can do it.
I think about the adage that we all have heard this growing up. You got to be twice as good to get half as much. But that is from a Eurocentric focus. You got to be twice as good to get half as much in their world. Yes. But if you are twice as good, you can get 4 times as much working with your own people who are all twice as good, right? There's a multiplier there that we don't take advantage of because we're busy trying to fit in, assimilate, use the systems that we know, deal with the devil we know, versus venturing out, because that is a leap of faith. I'm not gonna lie. When I started my own business, there were many days where I woke up like, oh God, I don't know how I'm gonna pay my rent, but my mortgage is due, and I may have to start driving Uber, and I find it interesting that I went to, I'm gonna drive Uber and not I'm gonna go back to corporate America. That was never on the table.
Right.
But this
Right.
idea of working for other people to achieve moderate levels of success and not understanding that all that
Hmm.
talent that we put into someone else's system, if we built our own system, we could exponentially grow in a short amount of time, you know?
Yes. And Joy, that's it. The majority recognizes the economic power that Black people have. $1.3 trillion of spending power. 2 years is all it takes. If we support only Black businesses, every Black person in the United States can be worth $2 million. That is a huge statistic. But so that means, to your point, you said it earlier, we get angry with people when we don't feel like they have provided a certain type of service or, whatever it is. So when I support Black businesses, I always have the conversation. I don't just walk away, because a lot of times people don't even recognize what is going on inside of their business establishments. And so they don't know that you received poor customer service, or that, somebody may have spoken to you in a way that was offensive to you. So we have an obligation to start to have these conversations and to be committed to saying, you know what, I'm not going anywhere. I am going to stay here, and I am going to make sure that I am supportive of this Black business. And I am going to do that by having some very necessary conversations, because we need more than just our gifts, talents, and abilities that allow us to produce certain things. Some people don't know what it is to run a business.
Yes.
So as a part of True Black Essentials, people are going to get training. I found the first 100 vendors. They were hand picked, because for different reasons. I do research, but I looked at not just the product that they were selling, but also the ability for that product to have an international impact. But there are some people who have some great products out there, but they don't have the packaging for their products. So as a part of True Black Essentials, we're going to train people to make sure that the product that they are putting out there has a presentation that is sellable, because it's not good enough for you to have something on the inside of the bottle that tastes
Right.
good if people look at the bottle and they say,
And the
ooh,
and the label is duct tape
this doesn't
on,
look
written
appealing.
with a marker.
That
Yeah,
part.
do better. Hmm.
That part. But the whole point of having, a manufacturing plant and distribution centers is so that y'all can stop going online and ordering from other people, and you can start ordering with us. People who look like you, who might be, I have vendors from Nigeria, Kenya, the West Indies, Jamaica, Canada. These vendors are already in place. And so they are making products that you use in your daily living. And, here's the other thing, Joy. I know that God gave me this vision because I have been very pro-Black my entire life. And that's not to say that I am anti anybody else. I am just pro for the people that look like me.
Hmm.
And the bottom line is, I've been saying to people for a long time, I classify myself as Rosa Martin Luther Malcolm. We can do it any way that you want to do it. That's how we can have the discussion. But the discussions need to be had. And I'm not going to shy away from the fact that every product inside of these stores will be made by Black people. And so I've had people to say, well, aren't you concerned that somebody's going to say you're discriminating? And I said, listen, anybody can come inside of True Black Essentials and shop. We welcome you, because we want to turn green black. You can be polka dot and come inside of True Black Essentials and shop. But in order to have your product in there, you will be of Black descent. And I am not going to compromise on that, because, again, True Black Essentials is looking for you. While you waiting to try to hope that somebody else invites you in, I want you in. And that's the difference. Yeah.
I am so in love with everything you're saying. And I'm just sitting like, I'm forgetting that I'm on screen. I'm like, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm on screen. Let me straighten up a little bit. I just want to, I just want to touch on, you mentioned, helping and coaching people who have a great idea,
Yes.
maybe a great product, but don't have the marketing, the
Yes.
communication skills, etc. And that's where somebody like me comes in. Like I think about the small businesses I
Yes.
work with, like, baby boy, let me help you with this. This ain't how corporate people
Mm-hmm.
talk. So if you want to put together a press package, you got to put it like this. If you want to put together a resume, you got to have it like this. If that's your goal, but if you want to start a
Right.
business, what is your brand? How do you want to show up
Mm-hmm.
in these spaces? How do you want to show up in retail or in service?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was famous on Facebook for pumping up my favorite restaurant at the time. It was called Soul Crab here in Atlanta. Do you remember
Mm.
Soul Crab down in College Park?
Yes.
It's closed right
Yes.
now. And RIP Soul Crab. They had some great food. It'll kill you in a week if you ate there every day, but it was delicious.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I went, waiter's a little bit off. One time a fight broke out. One time my food was bad. I kept going back because I believed in that block. It was black restaurants all up and down that block. And I also kept going back because I kept giving unsolicited advice to the head chef and to the co-owner. Like, look, baby girl, let me tell you what's going on down here. So those two waiters over there, they got a problem. You need to train them. You need a manager. You can't be in the back and be working the front. You need to have a backup here. If one time one of the fryers broke down and everything, all the food in the place is fried. So when one of the fryers broke down, I'm talking to the head chef like, okay, what you need to do is close the restaurant and open it bar only and just
Mm-hmm.
serve drinks tonight and then get this worked out. I'm giving all this free advice, not because I'm trying to get over on the restaurant. I'm trying to get my piece. I wanted them to succeed. So I could keep coming
Right.
back and keep bringing more and more people and blow up that block. Because if they succeeded, then the
Mm-hmm.
restaurants next to them who didn't have as much of a presence succeeded, so on and so forth. And if I get a free shot of Hennessy out of it, that's great. But other than that, I just
Right.
wanted it to be prosperous. And that's in my spirit
Right.
to want to do better. But I could have been the type of person, this service is terrible, I'm not coming back. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to be that
Mm-hmm.
auntie that is like, look, get your act together so that I can support you and tell everybody else about you. And so
Right.
that again, that coaching, that mentoring of young people. I know a lot of people with great ideas and no plan.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you put a business plan together? Some people have great ideas
Right.
and they can never get off the ground beyond selling, fish plates on the corner because they don't have that grand scheme type of idea.
Right.
So
Right.
oh, there's a question in our chat. How did you select your first 100 business owners?
Again, I have a PhD. So, and that's my freshman sister from FAMU. So I'm a researcher. I'm a researcher by nature. So again, I had different categories that I wanted inside of the store. And so we have Black people who make everything. And a lot of the businesses that were on my list that I've reached out to, never heard anything back from them. And so what I know for sure is that everybody that's supposed to be present will be present. And I always knew that after the launch on November 1st, there were going to then be people who were going to hear about us, understand the mission, and then want to come in. True Black Essentials is for every Black business owner that is out there. So the 100 is significant because I hand chose them and they are part of the Centenarians Club. So of course, when it comes to some perks and some stock options, that's those people. But the more significant thing about them is that they're at the seat, they have a seat at the table in terms of how to instruct me with regards to the manufacturing plant, the distribution center, because what someone in a food and beverage industry needs in terms of a facility is not the same as somebody who's in textiles. So, so the 100 was chosen because I looked at the categories of items for the store. I looked at the demographics in terms of where they were located and our expansion plan, because the first 5 cities that I mentioned are the first 5 super center stores. In other areas, there will be smaller market type
Hmm.
stores, and so there's a plan for that. And then we have, a whole expansion plan. And so, yeah, so they were chosen because I did the research to find them. And of the 100 vendors, there are 10 young entrepreneurs, and they are my talented 10th. So because there's some young people out here that are doing some awesome products
Mhm.
and have a mission behind how it is that they began doing what it is that they do. And that's the other thing, Joy. A lot of the vendors that I found them because of their story. And so, I looked for people, and it has been so amazing because everybody that is involved has the right spirit, they have the right attitude, and I have constantly prayed and asked God, keep the wrong folk away, because I don't want, the other part of me that I try to keep locked inside of the closet at my mama's house. I don't want her to come out. I've spent 25 years working on her. So I want that part of the Aries to stay at the house and just let Dr. Adrian show up. And so as a result of that, I have encountered some people who, didn't want to sign a non-disclosure agreement because, again, God dropped this assignment in my lap on Juneteenth. And I said, oh, you really trying to free the slaves now to give me something like this on Juneteenth? But having the conversations meant that I had things I had to get in order very, very quickly, in terms of getting the name trademarked. And, it was a lot. And so to be able to have conversations with people about what was coming, they had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. And I can't tell you how many people I encountered who did not want to do it, even some up close and personal, and I said, and I didn't argue with anybody. I said, I understand if you don't want to sign one, that's okay. And I would keep it moving, because you can't pray that God will keep you protected and shield you from certain people, but then you trying to reach out and grab them and pull them back closer to you. So
Ma'am.
anybody that wanted to go, I let them go. Was that a word? That
That
was a
was a
word,
word
wasn't it?
like you don't even
I
believe. That
know.
goes across all genres right there.
Listen,
You can't pray for
listen.
protection
Most
and then be
words
chasing the
do.
bad stuff.
Girl, there you go. There you go. Listen, I heard it said like this. You can't be talking about you miss somebody that did you wrong. I said,
Mm.
oh, you better
Girl,
stop.
let me
Stop.
take these
I see now we
headphones
about to
off.
get off on the tangent. Look, we about to get we about to get off on the tangent. But it's true. It's
Yes.
true. So a lot of times we ask God for things, and then when it shows up, we're questioning, is this really what you mean? Is this, and so somebody asked me recently if I was nervous about the launch. And I said no, because nervousness is associated with anxiety.
Hmm.
I have butterflies, which I associate with excitement. And so I am excited about what God is doing for Black people all over the world. And so, whether it's because of the Black Lives Matter movement or however it is that people see it, I know that this is something I've practiced my entire life because of the community that I grew up in. And so giving back and helping others and making sure that we're not leaving folk behind, that's just what I do. And so, yeah,
And this
yeah,
is a
just
testament
excited.
to living your purpose, following what your soul is telling you to do, the law of attraction,
Mm,
all of it in and is
all of
all
that.
part and parcel of the same thing. When you're doing what you've been
Yeah,
called to do, your pathway clears. You know, I,
yeah,
nothing can stand it.
yeah.
No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Like, I mean, we could go there. I ain't gonna go there because I ain't been to church in forever, so I ain't gonna try it. But I will tell you that
But you go in your heart every day.
every
You go in
every
your
day,
heart every day.
every day in some way. I
That's
got
right.
goosebumps right now just listening to you. I've wanted to cry several times while you've been talking. Like, you have moved me. I cannot even tell you. I cannot even tell you. You ain't gonna have
Well,
me crying no
Joy,
more.
well, I keep pinching myself because, again, be the change you wish to see in the world has always been my favorite quote. And I've been accused of being a Pollyanna and, always thinking that, there's a bright side to everything. Well, I do. And that is what I believe. And I do believe that so much of how we live our life is about what we think about our life. And so we just have an obligation to understand that how you living is not about you. And so if you think that you've arrived because you drive a certain car, or you can get on an airplane, or you can live in a certain neighborhood, but we still have brothers and sisters sleeping up under bridges who can't take care of their families, then systemically, y'all, we got a problem.
Right.
And so everybody can do something. And, I don't have retirement. Joy, one thing about me, I am very transparent. I'm like an open book, because what I recognize is that whatever I'm going through, somebody else is going through that and then some. So I don't mind sharing, and I share because I want people to understand that where you are is not where you stay. And so, look, my retirement, gone. Why? Because I own an office building in Atlanta, Georgia. See, so I got something that I own. I own a piece of property, but I don't have some retirement sitting around somewhere, and I don't have, a whole bunch of stuff that other people have, the security and stability, because my life took a change after I got divorced after 29.5 years. But what I believe is that if I were to leave here today, that hopefully I have made a mark on somebody's life, whether it's all of my students that I've touched or whoever it is, and they're going to say, she made a difference in my life. Because y'all, it's not about the things and stuff. It's just not. And so we've spent a lot of times, spending our energy on the things and stuff. But what are we going to do now in terms of using things and stuff that were made by people that look like you? And I said on, a podcast that I did some weeks ago, I said I had Joseph and Renee Smith, who own Jules, which is a sanitary product line. And so they will be a part of True Black Essentials. Yeah. And so, and the company was started by a couple out of Louisiana. And so another Black couple. But, I said to them, I said, if you were to look around the room that you are sitting in, and you had to remove everything from the room that was not Black owned, Black produced, or Black grown, you would be sitting in an empty room. We have to change that narrative. And so I said to them, I said, listen, Black folk been using Trojan condoms forever. Who gonna invent the mandingos? And just run me my check when you come up with the name for them. But it's time for us to do something different.
Yes.
So everything that we use and we consume, we have to produce. And so, I need people on board. I have an amazing advisory group. I mean, they look like the who's who of Black executives. But y'all, I'm building a $1 billion brand. I am speaking that into existence. True Black Essentials will be a $1 billion brand that will be family owned. And that means that everybody that's investing in it is part of the family. Because originally, we were going to do publicly traded stocks. And I said,
that puts you
we're
back in
not
that
doing
system.
that.
Yeah.
We're not doing that, because the moment somebody says that they want to change the mission and the vision of this, now we got a problem. Publix is not publicly traded. It is a private owned $1 billion company that is owned by a family. True Black Essentials will be the same way, but every Black person can be a part of this family, because that's what it is. And so, I've had people to ask me, 2 people asked, will you ever sell True Black Essentials? I said, absolutely not. I didn't hesitate. And they said, well, everything is for sale. And I said, you know what? You are exactly right. I said, so let me give you the formula. When every Black person on the face of the globe can get a check cut for $1 million, True Black Essentials is for sale. I said, now you do the math, because that's zeros we've never seen before. So the answer is, it'll never be for sale. You don't create generational wealth by selling off your ideas. And I'm not mad about anybody that does it, because we do what we know to do, right, and what works for us in the moment that we do it. So everybody has to do what they do. But there's a reason why my father has been able to amass the acreage of land that he has, and it's because he didn't sell it. Now he does have some that he sold off, and they put some major stores on top of that land. I'm like, you should have been leasing that land.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what we have to do, y'all. We got to come together, keep buying up land, make some of these cell towers, lease our land. Stop selling it off. Go back and get your taxes paid on your parents' homes.
Yes.
Don't let other people come in there and buy the stuff up. Yeah, this is what collective thinking and economics is about. And so we just, we got some things to do, but we are a whole lot closer than we've ever been before.
I totally agree
Yeah,
with that. I've talked to people about that before. Generational wealth is not 10 years. It is 100
that's
years.
right.
And so if your
That's
mindset
right.
is, I'm going to go ahead and sell my mama's house so I can pay off these debts and then it'll give me a clean slate.
Right.
You have sold the only thing that was appreciating in your portfolio.
That's
The
exactly
car,
right.
the car ain't going to get
That's
you no
exactly
money.
right.
The clothes are
No,
negative, but the land, my father told me a long time ago, land is the only thing they can't make more of. And so it's
you cannot
always,
make any more of it. That's right. That's right.
hmm
Yeah.
so
You
I
you
love what
know,
you're saying.
Yeah, Joy, another part of True Black Essentials will be, y'all, and I still have a desire to help this person, and I still have to figure it out. So I found a black shrimp farmer. Amazing product. Amazing product. But he got into bed with the devil. That's the only way I can classify it. So he did what a lot of black business owners do, which is he had a great idea, but he didn't have a plan, just like you said. And so he attempted to harvest shrimp 3 years ago, was successful. So his product is amazing. It tastes great. And he harvested large shrimp in Alabama
Mm.
because his family hit salt water back in the 60s. Okay. So he had this idea about 3 years ago. I'm going to harvest shrimp. He was successful, but he did not have a processing plant of his own. So he had to take his shrimp to some Caucasian type fellas in Louisiana for them to process his shrimp. He did what a lot of black people do. He ran out of money. So they have 7,000 pounds of his shrimp, and he needs to pay to get his shrimp back from them because they've processed it. He doesn't have the finances to do it. He lives in a town where there is no FedEx or UPS, so he does not even have a system in place to sell his shrimp online. And so when I discovered him, I was like, oh my God. So I bought some shrimp. He was very guarded, older gentleman. And I said, he is probably so used to people taking advantage of him, he doesn't know who to trust.
Mm-hmm.
And so a part of the mission for True Black Essentials will be to make sure we find people like that to help them.
And free
So
them.
we're going to have a foundation. When we had a board meeting last week, and so the board was like, you got all these ideas and all this stuff is coming. And I said, the ultimate goal of all this, y'all, is we have to make sure that there are not black people out here who continue to produce goods and products where somebody else comes in, offers them a little of nothing for their land, takes their product and puts their stamp on it, because that's what we have been experiencing for years. Mm-hmm. And it's time out for that. But in order to do that, then that means when I stumble upon somebody that needs help, I got to figure out how to help them. Mm-hmm. And so, a lot of people were like, well, you can't help him right now because you're launching November 1st. And I said, I really don't want to try to figure out how to ship out 7,000 pounds of shrimp for him. But I'm like, black folk love shrimp. We will eat shrimp every week. We'll have a shrimp fry and a fish fry every day. And so I feel obligated to help him figure out how to not only get his product back, but how to sell his product, because I don't want him to be discouraged because he has the infrastructure in place to harvest shrimp. That means black folk, we don't have to get shrimp from China anymore. We got a black shrimp farmer right here in Haynesville, Alabama. We just got to figure out how to help him.
Let me tell
so
you
that's
something.
what True Black Essentials is going to do.
let me tell you something right now. First off, I want you to know that my producer has been doing all kinds of signifying happy dances over here. Like, he has not sat still the entire time. He wants you to know that he wants to help you with your launch. If you need some live streaming the day of your launch,
Yes,
he is there for you. But above and beyond that, I know for a fact, this is what I do. I'm from Houston, Texas. We used to go
yes.
down to the wharf in Galveston and Port Bolivar, all this stuff, and pick up shrimp from the coastline for people bringing it in from the boats. It
Mm-hmm.
was always cheap, jumbo shrimp for $5 a pound, whatever. When I moved, one of my friends here is from New Orleans, and when she goes back to New Orleans, I give her like $100, and she'll bring me back like 10 pounds of shrimp, something like that. But that's all
Mm-hmm.
the way to Louisiana. It's somebody in
Right,
Alabama halfway there. If I can take a 4 hour
right,
drive and just pick up something I'm on, you got the whole city of Atlanta that'll be just caravanning down there looking like we're going to Essence Fest trying to get some shrimp from this man.
right.
If we knew he was there, and that's the thing, is we
If
don't
we
know
knew
he's
he was
there.
there. Yeah, I mean, enjoy the vendors who are in True Black Essentials. When I tell you amazing vendors, so I have the only true artesian water company, spring water company. True, because he does everything, including blow his own bottles on site. This brother has a 24,000 square foot facility in Otaugaville, Alabama, 1186 water. So, there are Black people who are out here doing some stuff, but we just have to come under one roof
Hmm.
so that we won't even think anymore about where did this come from, who made it. You already know it was a Black person that made it, because again, even with him, even with Marquise, he has a distribution deal through Budweiser. I hope the brother won't be mad at me telling his business. But as a result of that, they get to set the pricing
Hmm.
when his water is placed in certain stores. And so he has said to me, I feel like they are trying to price my water so high that people just walk by it. But see, when it's inside of True Black Essentials, he's not going to have to worry about that, because if every Black home is buying 1186 water, and there are other water companies out here, and so just like you like your Dasani and your Fiji and we're going to have some variety. We're going to have some options, but they're going to all be Black options.
Hmm.
That's what they're going to be. So if you have a product, if you've been thinking about having a product, if there's something you've been tinkering with, this is the time to develop it, because you're going to have a home and somewhere that you can sell your product. Yeah.
You know, I am loving this, and I think I agree with you. This is a $1 billion brand. I cannot wait to see where you go with this. And I'm thinking, for the first time in my life, I will have a place that is so convenient that it'd be impossible for me to
Mm-hmm.
consider going anywhere else. Why would I shop anywhere else when I can go walk through the doors of TBE and know that everything I touch is serving my community? And okay, so you got five different
Yes.
versions of this, two different versions of that. I have choices. I can pick what I want. It's like a super center, you said. So it's just like going to Walmart. There's TVs over here and hair
That's
products
right.
over there and fruit in the back,
That's
and I can get
exactly
everything
right.
I need from one spot. I would never go anywhere else, and I cannot wait
Right.
to roll up on this store when it launches. I want it to be today. Like, I want to leave here and go find it. But best believe that anything that Thoughts and Moments Radio can do for you to help you on this journey, we are
Yes.
here for you. My producer, I'm not sure if you know Roy Evans, but Roy Evans the third, the second, Roy Evans the second is my producer, and he is also the CEO and founder of Jericho Broadcast Network, which is where my show is. And he's all in. I tell you, if he would stop dancing for a minute, I can finish what I'm saying. But you have believers. We are converts. We are
Well,
here, and I believe all of my audience is ready. We are ready for this, and I cannot wait to see what you do.
when I tell you, Joy, some of the vendors inside of True Black Essentials have some products that are amazing. And listen, I was raised being a Gucci girl. My parents, had the means, and so, I had the access, and so love some Gucci. But guess what? I'm not buying anymore.
Mhm.
And the first time I heard myself say that, I caught myself. I said, What'd you just say? You say you're not? No, I'm not buying anymore. No, no more Gucci, no more Louis, because there are some black vendors, there are some black designers out here, oh my God, with some products that are amazing. And so some people would say, well, why can you charge that much for your bag? But you'll run to Gucci and Louis and Prada and all these other places, and you will not hesitate to spend that type of money, but you won't spend it with somebody who looks like you, that is out of a Nigeria, who has these great leather bags. You won't do that because it doesn't have somebody else's name stamped on it. And so, my commitment is I'm just not buying those other designers anymore. And so I want to be able to find the designers who have these good quality products so that we can have them in one place and they're able to sell their products. I already have designers who have their products in Bloomingdale's, but understand the value of True Black Essentials. I have vendors who have products in Walmart and Target, but they understand what it is like to have a store of our own, where everything that we grab was made by somebody that looks like us. So, yeah. I mean, Eyeglass Company, oh my God, Ron McCoy. Listen, if I start calling their names, somebody's going to get upset with me. But, Commune, I mean, just amazing products. So I can't wait until Sunday. And let me just say this, I am believing that the website is going to be glitch free. But I need everybody to understand, I am a Black girl from Tuskegee, Alabama, who is doing something that has not been done. I'm not coming off anybody else's platform. So there are some other Black websites out here who sell Black products who are on other people's platforms. And so we might run into some problems. We had a Russian bot attack last week. And I said to the software developers who are brown people, because I looked for Black software developers, but they could not get it done in time. And so went with some brown people. So they're not quite Black, but they almost Black.
Adjacent.
And I said, listen, what did y'all do to piss the people off in Russia that they sending the bot after us? What is the problem? And they said to me, this happens on Amazon's website. This happens on Etsy, Shopify. It happens. And they said, that's why we have somebody that's monitoring it 24/7. And I said, as long as y'all got us. So what I will say is this, Joy, don't know what's going to happen on November 1st, other than the website will go live, because the other thing is that it was built in maintenance mode, which is not typical. Typically, you don't build a website like that. And so they kept saying to me, Dr. Adrienne, you need to let the site be live. And I said, I don't want the site to be live until it's time for the site to be live, because I think that everything is done in decency and in order. And so when God said it's November 1st, it was November 1st. And so I've had people say, well, I looked for your website and it just says launching soon. I say, I know. But November 1st is here. Sunday, November 1st is here. Everybody is now finding out about True Black Essentials. And so I just ask that people support us and understand that, the only thing that's perfect was Jesus Christ. That was it. And so everything else, it's going to come with a few glitches and imperfections. Right. And so we are talking about technology. Yeah, give a little grace. But don't walk away. Support the goal and the mission, because what it's going to do is it's going to change lives for Black people all over the world.
Right, so I'm calling out all of my Android and Apple people who have gone to the Apple website, the Android website, and it's been shut down for traffic. Amazon has been hacked before. Yeah. Sony has been hacked before. So don't give me that, oh, I can't believe it didn't work. Obamacare was hacked or did not work the first day it was out. So a little grace, a little time, and keep your eye on the bigger picture. But we're going to speak into existence that there will be no glitches. This is going to come off exactly as you want it to, And
absolutely.
our audience is used to us doing about an hour. So before anybody tries to leave, I want to make sure that everyone knows, one, where is your brick and mortar store going to be? And first and foremost, what is the website that they need to go to on Sunday for the launch?
So the website is www.trueblackessentials.com. And please start to email us at info@trueblackessentials.com, because we will have a Black Friday sale. So you all don't have to go stand in lines and rush and run into any place else. You can shop on True Black Essentials. There will be some Black Friday sales going on. And so the brick and mortar location, Joy, I don't know. There is a location down on Peachtree that I have been eyeing here in Atlanta, and there is a lot that is right near the AU Center, Morehouse, Spelman, and Clark, Atlanta, and Morris Brown. And so, and I am a Falcons fan, so it's also in eye view of the stadium. So I really don't know, but what I will say is this: True Black Essentials will open its doors on June 19th, 2021, because I already own a building free and clear. So True Black Essentials will open up its first store next year, June 19th, 2021. But I just feel like God has some plans that are bigger than my office space, which is about 2,500 square feet. But I feel like He has some bigger plans than that. And I am even believing that somebody that has a building in a great location may even reach out to me and say, hey, let's do this work together. So God is an amazing God. And
Man,
I give Him all credit for all of this. Yeah.
if I think about all the days I walked from Spelman's campus all the way up the hill both ways in the cold to get to West End Mall with the three stores,
Right.
two sneaker stores, and three baby clothes stores, and that was it. And if I could find something 3-4 blocks quicker that had everything in it being
Mm-hmm.
black owned, you would have trouble staying in stock from just the AUC
And
center alone.
quality food
Yes,
because sometimes in our neighborhoods
you
we
don't get a
don't
Whole
have
Foods.
quality food.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can go
Absolutely.
through.
But a lot of our products are organic, from the vendors. And it's just, I'm just excited. I'm excited.
I am too. I am too. So we've put trueblackessentials.com. That's the website across the bottom. Yes. Everybody
Okay.
go there on
Yes.
Sunday. The launch will be November 1st. Follow Dr.
Hmm.
Adrian Harrison Berry on Facebook. And she is Dr. Adrian at Dr. Adrian on Instagram and Twitter as well. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And so,
Instagram, Twitter, and please join the group. So we have a Facebook group now, True Black Essentials, and they can also join Black on the Block and Couch Conversations with Dr. Adrian. And, if you have a Black business, you can join the
mhm.
Black owned business listings group, which is a private group, but that's my group as well.
So you up in here in all kind of ways, Ellis, my
Yeah.
co-host. So apparently Ellis has landed. Glad that you are safe, Ellis, wherever you are. But he said that you are a
Yeah.
connector and an inspiration, and I truly believe that. I think about
Thank you.
even sitting here listening to you, I'm thinking of all the people that I'm going to throw your way. Like, y'all need to get in on this
Thank
while the
you.
getting is good.
Yes. Yes.
Designers, all kind of stuff, all kind of stuff. As you're thinking,
Yes.
my mind is racing with people that I know that
Mm-hmm.
have successful businesses, but they're doing it all on their own. And so there's a limit to what they can do,
Yeah.
specifically that manufacturing, that distribution, that infrastructure is missing. And a little nudge, a little push, and each one of them could be $1 million business, which adds to that $1 billion brand.
And Joy, and the other thing is that we have to, and you alluded to this when you talked about growing up and, people not necessarily encouraging things or sometimes discouraging things. We have to create in our children and the generations behind us that they really can do anything and everything. And so when I think about the pots and pans that we use, the coffee pots, coffee makers that we have, the line of linen, every single thing that we have, if that is a part of your passion, you need to contact me because I don't want to be a maker of towels and sheets and comforters, but somebody might. Somebody, I love the way that they look, but somebody else might say, that's my passion.
Mm-hmm.
I want to develop a line of china. I want to develop a line of flatware. Every single thing. Do you know how long people been going to these department stores and registering for their wedding registration, and you buying all this stuff to put it inside of your house, and it has nobody's name on it that is Black? It's time for us to change that narrative. So every single thing that we consume and that we utilize, we should be making. I mean, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I had this conversation with a white gentleman who has worked in textiles out of the country over in China. He retired from a business like that. And he said, what you're talking about has not been done in the United States. Not that it hadn't been done by a Black person. It hadn't been done in the United States. And I said, then it's time. And it's going to be done by a Black woman.
Mm-hmm. I cannot end this show on a better note. You know, I speechless. Speechless. I have nothing to add. There's nothing I can add to elevate or edify this conversation. You are everything, ma'am. That's what I want you to know.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm getting teary
Thank you
again.
so much,
You ain't gonna have me
Joy.
crying on my
Thank
show.
you, thank you, thank
You
you.
ain't gonna have me
Thank you.
crying on my show. But I just want everybody
Look, I'll be
again.
crying too.
TrueBlackEssentials.com. The launch is on Sunday, November 1st. Make sure you get your spot in line. Make sure you go and check out everything. And remember, you have never had anything this convenient. When you say you want to buy Black, this is all you need to know. This is
This is
True
it.
Black Essentials. The name is intentional. Okay, so I expect everyone, to be out there and do what we do. Blow it up. Okay. And when the actual store comes, expect me to be knocking at the door like it's Black Friday out front of Walmart. Like, ma'am, it's 8:59. You said you was open. I need to know why the doors ain't open. I need to get in here and get my stuff. That's gonna be me. I'm gonna be right there.
Oh goodness. And you know what? Enjoy listen, what God has given to me in terms of this store. Amazing. And so this isn't just going to be about the Black goods and products, but he gave me something for Black restaurants that I know has never been done before. And so y'all, if we just come together, this is really going to be amazing.
It is going to be amazing. With that, I'm going to just ask you if you would really quickly just remind everybody how they can find you individually, because I've got people trying to figure out how they can get in with you because they have businesses, etc.
Okay.
And people, I'm going to warn you, have your stuff together, at least at some level. Don't come to her with no nonsense,
yes.
okay? But Dr. Adrian, what is the best way for somebody to get in touch with you from this business standpoint?
From a business standpoint, they can email me at info@trueblackessentials.com, but they can also join the Facebook group True Black Essentials, and then of course Couch Conversations with Dr. Adrian, especially on Fridays if you need some relationship tips as we are going into the holiday season. Not your romantic relationships, because I got a word tomorrow about these fairy tales that we write. So, come on over there to Couch Conversations with Dr. Adrian for the fix at 6. But for True Black Essentials, info@trueblackessentials.com is the best email to use.
Excellent. Well, thank you. You have blessed
thank
this show
you.
today. Thank you so much for being here. Oh my goodness. I feel like, remember when Jill Scott and Erykah Badu did that verses, so they were just loving on each other? That's how I feel right now. Like, yes, sis, yes. Anything I can do to support you, I am here. I am your humble servant. Whatever I can ever do to help you.
I will be calling on you, Joy, and I just appreciate you for allowing me to come on your platform and share the air with you. I really, really appreciate you, my sister. Thank you so much.
It is all love. It is all love. And with that, thank you again for being here. Everybody, remember that this show is going to be on replay. When is it? Friday morning? Tomorrow, 3 p.m. So when you're trying to figure out how to blow that last hour at work, tomorrow, 3 p.m., we'll have a replay of this show available on the MyJBN play on the MyJBN app. Okay. Talk Vibe radio station. I'm trying to remember all my new stuff here. Yes, it'll all be posted. Roy's going to take care of all of that for us. That's what the super producer is supposed to do. But I want you guys to share this live with people. It'll be live for the next 24 hours. So share this with people that you know that are interested in elevating their business, or that need a little bit of help, or that you think this might be a good fit for them. Because we all know somebody. I'm not talking about the hustle man who's selling CDs out the back of his car. I'm talking about people who have a bona fide product, a good idea that you've thought it would be so great if only. If only they had this, if only they had shipping, if only they had someone to make labels for them. Looking at you, Fair and Terror. If only they had that little push over the hump to turn their $1 million idea into an actual $1 million, because that's what we're all about up in here. This is how you build generational wealth. This is how you set generations to come up, not just your nephew or your son, but their great grandchildren, right? This is what we're going for. So with that, again, Biden Harris 2020. Go out and vote. Let's not forget that part. Let's get that. Let's jump that hurdle first.
Just vote.
Go and vote.
Vote. Yeah.
If you think about we talk about all the protesting that we do right now. We protest for social injustice. We protest for equal rights, etc. But if you remember, the protests that were happening in the 60s were for the right to vote. Don't disrespect that. They understood at the time that. Again, we talk about working within that system, the legislature, legal systems, the judges, the lawyers, the DA, etc. All of the things that we need, the county courthouse, etc. City halls, everybody in the legal system, most of them are elected. And those that are elected end up appointing the rest. So go out and exercise your right to vote so that your voice can be heard. Absolutely. Okay. And on that, ma'am, thank you again for being here, Dr. Adrian. This has been I always say this is my favorite show, but this is one I'm going to go back and watch again myself. Make sure I heard everything, And everybody, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today on Thoughts and Moments Radio. I am Joy Stevens. The invisible person in the middle is my co-host Ellis, and we have been here with the beautiful, the wonderful, the amazing, the angelic Dr. Adrian. And you guys have a great night, okay?
So you're a philosopher?
Yes.
This is Thoughts and Moments. Hey, it's your boy Silly Thoughts, the Prince of Petty.
And I'm Joy, also known as Joy Ride. I provide the moments to make your life better.
We're here weekly to provide the latest news, trending topics, and